What's up, fight fans, and welcome back to the KO Breakdown. I'm your host, the fight analyst Gary Kerman. With me, as always, is my man Joe Danger himself, Jesse Hobson. What's up, man? How's it going?
That's me, and I'm here, and we're gonna talk about fights. What's up, my dude?
That's absolutely what we're gonna do. And we have a very, very special guest with us, joining us right now. Our man, UFC flyweight Cody Durden. What's up, man? How's it going?
Good, man. Just enjoying a vacation down here at Panama City Beach in Florida. How y'all doing?
Good.
Yeah, I actually just got back from the beach myself last week. My wife broke her leg the first day we were there. So, yeah, it was not an awesome vacation, but, made the best of it.
Dang, how did that happen?
The way that the driveway was, there was this little weird edge, and she slid, and then whenever she slid, she rolled one ankle and then fell onto the other ankle. So yeah, we have surgery scheduled for Friday. So be careful out there.
Dang, and I hope it works out for y'all.
Hey, it is what it is, man. If it's not the jellyfish you got to worry about, now you got to worry about the edges on driveways. So either way, let's get into some fights, man. That's what we're here to talk about. I know you're on vacation, so let Garrett take over.
Yeah, man. Well, first and foremost, thank you for coming on. And we kind of just wanted to touch base on, how you're feeling coming up for arguably the biggest win of your career, the most dominant win of your career against a really tough opponent in JP Vegas. So how are you feeling right now?
I feel great. The fight before that, it didn't go my way, but I trusted the process, and I knew that, there's ups and downs in this sport. And I just want to get better, and I want to improve and climb the rankings. And, I went out there and put on the performance that I knew I was capable of. And I let my training speak for itself.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That was the win that I was expecting. And just so you know, I, for one, not everyone on this show had money on you inside the distance. I believe it was plus 330. So I definitely appreciate your performance, not only from a viewer's perspective, but someone that had, some stake in the game. Kind of speaking of that performance, though, normally, or you're not exactly tame, when it comes to the face-offs, but with JP, for some reason, you seem to kind of be cool, calm, collected. Is there maybe a shift in your demeanor, or what was going on there?
Not at all. I knew he never really said anything that, I knew his background. I knew what his wife or his ex-wife put him through, and I knew, I'm a human at the end of the day, and I have empathy and sympathy for what he's got going on in his life. But at the end of the day, I had a job, and it had to get done. My family needed to eat, and I know his family needs to eat too. But at the end of the day, it was him or me, and I knew that's what it was.
Yeah, the situation with his wife is definitely an interesting one. So did you have some trash talk locked and loaded if he did kind of go for you, or what were you ready for exactly?
I really don't. I don't plan things, but if he wanted to get it popping off, we could have. But yeah, like I said, I just wanted to let my training speak for itself. I went away from my family for 6 weeks. I put the time in, and I really sacrificed everything just for fighting for this fight. And it paid off. And you can tell week by week that I could tell week by week that I was improving, because the guys that used to, give me problems and stuff, I was doing phenomenal against them. And I just knew I leveled up this camp at American Top Team in Coconut Creek, Florida.
Excellent, man. Yeah, speaking of your training, I saw a couple images of you wearing fatletic or the apparel. So I think that I'm maybe the target audience for this brand. So I wonder if you could maybe speak on that a little bit. Obviously I have a couple extra LBs, and I'm always looking for new gear, some new items to rep. So sell it to me there.
Listen, Jesse, not all athletes have abs. All right, there's fathletes out there. Look at Roy Nelson, and that's what I represent. There have been a sponsor of mine since before the UFC. A great sponsor of mine, and I support them 100%. I wear their gear, and the clothing is comfortable, and yeah, it speaks for itself. Athletic apparel. Not all athletes have abs.
Yeah, I like it. I like the name, obviously speaks to me. And, speaking of names, we got Cody Custom Made Durden. Okay. I think that that's a really cool nickname, but I have one that I think that I'm going to maybe compete with, if you will. So you have how like they say, like the shit. Well, we could call you Cody the Turden. Durden, like it just came to me, and like the merch sells itself. What do you think about that? The Turden.
I think you had too many Maker's Marks and Coke before you got.
Yeah.
No, and I mean, Cody Custom Made Durden was my nickname. I actually got it back when I won 3 fights in one night. This one guy came up to me. He was like, Cody Custom Made Durden. And it sounded good. I won 3 fights in one night. I won a championship belt. Freaking hung out, met Justin Gaethje. He coached me and cornered me to a $10,000 championship. And, sometimes you just got to take things and run with it,
Yeah, I like it. But if for some reason it falls through, you can always jump back on the Turden train, if you will.
You're gonna be calling me Corey Durden next. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah. Oddly enough, this is just coffee, man. I kicked the habit not too long ago, so now it's just coffee and tea for me. But,
yeah. Bruce Buffer, after I won the fight, he called me Corey Durden twice, and I told his ass on Instagram, I'm gonna have to give him a swirly next time he does that. And he replied back. He was like, I got you, man. My bad, or something like that. So,
well, a win's a win. At the end of the day, as long as he gets the last name right, I think you're in good terms. But we mentioned I mentioned like the win. How you put money in my pocket. How do you deal with these like dudes sliding into your DMs, you're like hitting you up like, hey, you either won me money or you lost me money? I'm sure that probably gets a little old. This is a betting podcast, so I kind of was curious about your opinion on that.
I mean, it happens every fight, but the truth is, I like to gamble too, and I gamble a lot. I gamble on my friends, I gamble on people I don't know, and I gamble on people that I think that are worthy of the win. And it doesn't always pan out. MMA is a hard sport to gamble on, honestly. But, it's just crazy the amount of people that message you and tell you that, you lost the money, you're a fucker, you're a faggot, all that stuff. And, it's just through one ear and out the other, really,
Yeah, and kind of speaking on that, another guy that I like to bet on, and someone that you've trained with, Bryce Mitchell. So what's the relationship there? I see you guys have worked together, and what do you think of him ultimately?
Man, I love what he stands for. I don't agree with everything he says, but I think he's a great fighter. I like that he stands up for himself and what he thinks, and he's genuine, and that's why I like Bryce Mitchell.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And ultimately that question leads into, ultimately he did get the camo shorts. What is Cody Custom Made Durden? What are his shorts look like?
Well, at the moment, I haven't got the opportunity to get my own custom made shirts, but they would be camouflage. And if we can agree on something, I catch bigger fish and I shoot bigger deer than Bryce Mitchell, and that's a fact. And but it's all about getting the wins. That's at the end of the day, no matter what you do, you have to win.
Yeah, I think it's, yeah, you get a couple more wins under your belt, moving forward. I think that you can probably call out the camo shorts. I did mention, I was at the beach last week. We actually caught a black tip shark.
Nice.
Oddly enough, very good eating. I was very surprised. But yeah, let's move on from fishing and hunting. As much as I would love to talk about that, 23rd ranked flyweight in the world. Where do you go from here? What's next? Who do you want? And, how do you keep up the ladder, to secure those camo shorts?
The next fight, we'll see if it takes time or not because of the USADA pool, but I'm going to beat the fuck out of Jimmy Flick. And, when I fought him, I got pulled from the fight from the UFC doctors for pink eye. I had a broke toe, a torn ACL. I still showed up. I still fought. And I was beating the hell out of him until he hit me with a flying triangle. And the next fight's going to be totally different.
So is there animosity there, or is it just you just want to win?
Personally, it's animosity on my end, just knowing that you're better than someone and you showed it, and you were only at about 50% when you fought. It just eats you alive,
Yeah, and I collect a lot of things. Obviously, you can see behind me, Jimmy does have a UFC card. Cody Durden does not. So whenever you get one, or whenever you will get one, I'm going to send one your way, man. I'd love to add your autograph to my collection. And, ultimately we can hang that over Jimmy Flick's head.
Man, I mean, it's not about hanging over his head. It's just
I would like to.
Dude, this motherfucker had one fight. He was getting outstruck like 47-3. He got taken down, and he hits a flying triangle, which was spectacular. I mean, I give credit where credit is due. That shit was badass. But the next fight, he's not pulling a horseshoe out of his ass. I promise you. I won't have a torn ACL. I won't have a broke toe. I won't have pink eye. I won't get pulled out 2 weeks before the fight. I mean, I fought him at my worst and was whooping his ass before he won. So that fight makes sense with him coming back out of retirement, but I don't, with the USADA pool, the 6 month, you got to get back into the testing process or whatever, what Henry Cejudo is going through. We'll see if it pans out because, I want 1 or 2 fights this year. More.
Yeah. And they're talking about him, like not even coming back till the beginning of next year, outside of Flick, is maybe there's somebody else you have your eyes on? I know he was talking about Figueiredo. Would you want to maybe capitalize on that?
That Figueiredo is too far down the road right now. I'm on a 1-fight win streak. I'm 2-2-1 in the UFC. I got a draw against one of the top ranked 135ers that is unranked. I don't know if he's ranked now, but he's won 6 or 7 in a row. Chris Gutierrez. For me, I just take it one fight at a time. I try not to look too far ahead. And, but if there's one thing about me, I show up, I make weight, and I'll fight anyone. I mean, look at my resume. It doesn't matter. 135, 125, 6-day notice I took on at the time 15-3 Chris Gutierrez when I was only weighing 142 pounds. So I'm just a fighter, at heart, and I love to fight. I love to make money, and man, I'm just anyone. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, just so no one kills me in the comments, I didn't mean Davidson. I meant like Francisco Figueiredo, because I believe he's 22 and you're 23, and that's who Flick wants. So I thought maybe if you made a statement on him, that it would be another reason for you guys to have a rematch.
Cisco, man, I would love that fight. That's a favorable fight. I think he lost his last fight, and but he has a fight booked right now, I believe.
Yeah, he's who's he fighting? He's fighting Imar Albazi next month. So I mean, maybe you can step in and take care of business that way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna enjoy this vacation till Saturday, and then get back to training. I was training right out of my fight, and we had this little vacation plan, so I came down here, take some time off, and just enjoy time with my family, and get back to fighting.
Excellent, man. Well, I mean, I definitely appreciate the time. I know Garrett does as well. Do you have a prediction for the main card before we let you go? And then, also or the main event, and then don't forget to mention all your sponsors and everything like that too. We want to know, and I know our audience wants to know, where they can follow you, where they can bother you after you after you win them some money.
So I'm gonna take Yair Rodriguez via decision, but my heart wants Ortega to win. If he can get it to the ground, I don't know if he will be able to, but Yair's an animal on the feet, and that's where all the fights start. Every round starts from the feet. So, but I'd like to. I would like to see Ortega win.
Excellent. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good fight overall. I'm, from the betting perspective, there is definitely money to be made. From the viewers' perspective, I think it's a good matchmaking fight, and because of which I'm really excited for this card. Again, before we go, where can we bother you on the internet?
I got Facebook, Cody Durden, Instagram, Cody Durden, Twitter, Cody Durden, and yeah, I mean. Shout out to my sponsors, Barber Orthopedic and Fathletic Apparel, Maple and Pine Properties. Hey, make sure you get a shirt, Jesse.
I will. I'll tag you in it too.
And all the people that supported me in the past, thank you. I appreciate it. And we're only going up from here. I swear to God, we are.
All right, excellent, man. Well, I'm looking forward to the Jimmy Flick fight. I know that's a pretty fucking cool call out, if I do say so myself. And again, thank you for your time. I will be buying one of those shirts, and I will be letting you know.
Hey, if he's up for the fight, let's do it. But I'm down to fight anyone. So if Jeffrey Molina wants to get his ass whooped, we'll fight too. It doesn't matter to me. He's 15, and
I like that fight too. I like that fight especially because that dude, he cried before the decision that he won. So. I don't like bad sports, and I think that's why I'm a fan of yours. Just wait till the name is read, my man. That's all you got to do. And yeah, it annoyed me. So yeah, I would love to see beat his ass. Let's go.
Let's go. It, hey, I appreciate you guys having me, and y'all have a blessed weekend coming up.
You too, man. Enjoy your vacation.
Trip. Even though it's only Wednesday.
We're almost there. Hump it. All right, man. Thanks. All right, guys. That was Cody during UFC Flyweight. What a great guy. Great interview. Appreciate that, Jesse. Man, that's very, very well, might I add. Much better than I would have. But here we are. UFC Long Island. We got fans back. This is an early fight card. We're talking 11:30 a.m. prime time for our friends in the UK. We got people over there. It's 4 p.m. on their side, so it's a good time for them. Sucks for us a little bit, especially the people on the West Coast. 8:30 a.m. start time. They get some coffee, some breakfast, and some fights. Not so bad. But yeah, let's get into the nitty gritty. Let's start in the prelims. Our first fight up is in the women's strawweight division between Jessica Penne and Emily Ducote. Right now, the line is set at Ducote minus 150 in the comeback on Penne plus 130. Who do you got?
Okay, so this one to Cody, is kind of small in comparison to Pinay, but don't get me wrong, dude. She's tough. She's a firecracker. While I think this fight is kind of set up to like showcase her, I think it is very possible for Pinay to find the sub. Pinay has 8 subs on her resume, and if the Cody isn't losing by decision, she does have that 1 sub loss. She's done it before, and let's see if she can. I know, and let's see if she can do it again. My pick is Jessica Panay. My play is Jessica Panay by sub plus 450.
Interesting.
I know you're on the other side. I
am because I've been watching Emily Ducote since she was in Bellator fighting for the flyweight championship. Yes, she was majority of her time at flyweight in Bellator. I believe McFarlane is the one where she actually won the belt off of Emily Ducote. It was a vacant flyweight championship. And yes, that was a submission loss, but in round 5, round 5, it took her 5 rounds. The bigger, more experienced fighter, better jiu-jitsu fighter took 5 rounds to submit her. Emily Ducote.
That's what we're getting again, though. Panay is the bigger.
But she's bigger. Yes, I get it. But she's not bigger. She's just taller.
Yeah.
She's not bigger. She's not stronger. I mean, we look at Ducote. She's 6-2 as a strawweight. She's 5-1 in the last 6 as strawweight. Her only loss was a split decision loss to Kanaka Murata, who is an excellent wrestler. Like double legs for days, extremely strong, extremely powerful. She's already in the UFC, and she defended 14 of 20 takedown attempts over 25 minutes. She was also able to get back to her feet, where she was landing some good shots. She comes forward. She's got some really good boxing, good counters as well. And then she also showed her takedown defense in her last 2 fights, and in her last fight against Alicia Zapatella. Granted, she was normally an atomweight coming up, but she's a very, very, very good wrestler. She was able to stuff those takedowns there, and then she brutally knocked out Daniel Taylor on the feet. That was insane. You normally don't ever see that. So it pretty much goes with Penny literally has to barrel herself forward, like she did Carolina, and get into a clinch and hope and pray that she gets a takedown. Because if not, she's going to eat counters the entire time because she has no chance of winning this fight on the feet. And I feel like Ducote is 7+ years younger than her as well. She's faster. I think she's much more strong as well. And Ducote's actually fought fighters as big as Penny, actually bigger. You look at Cat Williams, I believe, a flyweight in Bellator, who's 5'8". Penny's only 5'5". So I don't think the size is going to be a big difference here. She also fought Juliana Lima, who's 5'5" at strawweight, who's pretty strong for a strawweight, and she wasn't able to do anything against her. And I kind of see the same here. And Penny's she's on the out. I mean, her only good win in the last 4 years was Carolina Kovacevic, who's looked awful.
That's also what they'd said about her last fight too, and then she found the sub.
Yeah, that was. I mean, but she looked awful against Lupi, and she shouldn't have won that fight either.
Yeah, I agree.
There's no way she should have gotten that decision. Like, that was a bad decision. That was Vanessa Demopoulos 30-27 bad decision. Like,
another great play.
Like that. I mean, I get where you're coming from, because normally women MMA fights, it's better to take the dog, especially in a fight you're destined to go to decision. You have better chances of, coming out victorious on a decent dog bet. I think it's going to be clear cut. Emily Ducote wins 30-27, if not finish her, because I think she's a top 10 fighter, where I don't think Penny is.
If Penny doesn't get the sub, then Ducote's going to win. But I don't know.
Sub or bust, so might as well bet the sub. The sub there is not a bad bet.
Yeah,
that's the only way she's going to win. Because I don't think she's just going to hold her down there. She's not a great control.
Nope.
She's submission over position always and forever will be. And Ducote was able to get up against Murata numerous times, who's much more control over, is more position over submission. She just wants to ground and pound and lay on top of you, very top heavy. she was able to get up on that, I think she can get up against Penny.
If Dakota wins, I'll give you this. Like, if she wins, this is a really good like line for her. Oddly enough, I'm very surprised that the line is this close. I would expect her to be a bigger favorite.
Well, I mean, granted, not a lot of people know who Dakota is. You know what I mean? So if the line were to, if the line were to move more into Cody's favor, it's because they're fading Penny more than they are betting on Cody. Because Cody's not a big name even outside the UFC. She's not like a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion. She was just the Invicta FC champ. Okay, it's not like anything crazy, but I mean, it's still something noteworthy.
It's something, yeah.
It's something. It's a nice shiny little belt to put on your mantle, right?
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We got a fight in the middleweight division between Dwight Grant and Dustin Stoltzfus. Right now, Grant minus 140, Stoltzfus plus 120 on the comeback. Who do you got?
Yeah, so this one's interesting. You know, we did talk about this one a little bit off the air. I was kind of surprised with your lean. You know, I enjoyed Grant in the beginning of his UFC career, but it seems like his chin has got a little bit weakened, you know, with every fight. Stoltzfus is tough enough to handle Grant's early shots. So I like the over here. I like over 1.5 at minus 170. In reality, both these guys could end it at any time. So I'm not eager to play a fighter. So I think that the 1.5 is a nice buy at minus 170. But ultimately, I'm going to pick Stoltzfus to win, and my play is going to be the over 1.5.
I like that. The over 1.5 seems fairly safe, especially considering the way I think this fight's going to go. Dwight Grant, very low volume fighter, doesn't throw a ton of volume, like I said, and he's got power, but he's moving up to 185. I don't think going from 170 to 185 on a 2-fight skid is really going to help you. You're also 37, about to be 38 years old.
Yeah,
also not going to help you.
I didn't realize how old he was. Black definitely don't crack, man. And that dude, he looks,
he looks like he's 30, but he's literally pushing 40.
Yeah, I thought he was so much younger, especially considering how recent he joined the UFC. Like, he just, I don't know. Good for him. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I just can't see him winning this fight. He's going to have to predicate winning this fight solely on damage and knockdowns because Stoltzfus, I think he'll throw more volume. He'll be in his face. He'll be more active on the feet. And then you look at who Stoltzfus fought in his first 3 fights. I mean, that's a murderous row of grapplers that he's ever faced. Kyle Dawkins, Rodolfo Vieira, who he took a round off of. Yeah. It was 1-1 going into round 3. And Gerald Mearshart, who I believe he took a round off of too. You know? So he's fought immensely better competition than Grant at, 185 pounds. Guys are much bigger, much stronger than him. You know, Kyle Dawkins is 6'3". Gerald Mearshart, 6'3", or no, 6'1", pretty damn built and elite jiu-jitsu practitioner, BJJ black belt, and then Rodolfo Vieira, he's on steroids, and he's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu world champion. Grant's not even remotely even in the same stratosphere as any one of those three, and he's facing a striker like Joe Pfeiffer in his contender series, and then Grant has putrid takedown defense. He's got 50% takedowns defended over his last 5, and against some really bad offensive grapplers like Alan Joban, Francisco Trinaldo, and I forgot what the last one was. And Kondoshko, guys just don't grapple ever, and they were able to land takedowns. I feel like the takedown's going to come easy. He's going to get his back, or he might sink in the arm triangle choke and get the job done and cash as an underdog. I think this is a great underdog play. I think it's a great value. I think Stoltzfus pretty much is much better in one area than Grant is much better than him in his area. Grant's got power, but that's pretty much it. And I just don't think his power is going to be enough to knock him out.
Especially in this division. That's the only thing that scares me about the over 1.5 is that, power was an issue for Grant in a lower weight class. How is this power going to affect him in a higher weight class?
Right.
So we'll see.
We'll see how it goes. Moving on, I believe our next fight up is in the light heavyweight division between Dustin Jacoby and Dao Jung. Right now, Jung is minus 125 to come back on Jacoby plus 105.
That's interesting because I think in the beginning was Jacoby ever a favorite on
Flipped.
this?
Yep, flipped.
Yeah, that's crazy.
A lot of money. A lot of money's been coming in on Jung. He's a very big public dog that now flipped to favorite.
Interesting. Yeah, I have in my notes. I have Jacoby minus 130. Probably the toughest fight to call, as I really like both guys. I think I'm going to roll with Jacoby though, as he's won me so much money since contender. The one thing that sticks out is the Alvi draw for Jung. Jacoby definitely hits harder than Alvi, but Jung has also never been finished by KO. I like Jacoby by decision, but I think I probably will just enjoy this one. But now that Jacoby is a dog, I'm probably going to take the stab on the dog.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what I did. I waited and waited and waited because I'd seen the love for Jung, and I knew this line was going to flip, so I was able to snag on my book Dustin Jacoby on plus 115. I think if you got an underdog on either one of these guys, I think that's a great play. Where we got Jung early at plus 120, plus 125, that's a great play. Or you're taking right now Jacoby at plus 105, plus 120. I think it's going to be extremely close fight. I don't think Jung's going to win on the feet. I think if he does win, it's going to come with a ton of grappling and control time against the cage, rinse and repeat. But I think Jacoby's going to make it hard for him to just grapple with him. Jacoby did well defending takedowns, even against Cutelaba. He was able to get back up. I know he took a lot of damage, but he didn't get out of there. He wasn't knocked out or anything. And then after that, he dominated rounds 2 and 3. I expect Jacoby to win at distance. Even in his last fight, he was handicapped. He didn't throw kicks at all because he was injured. Now he's got some kicks back in his arsenal. He's gonna really throw some heavy leg kicks into Yair Jung, who's very heavy on his lead leg. So we'll see how that goes. But on the feet, I think Jacoby has a massive advantage. We're also in the bigger octagon here too, so I think he's going to be able to utilize his movement very well, his kicks, stay at range like he did against Ola Jacek, and and keep it moving. And also, Jacoby's very good on the scorecards. He's 6-2-1 in his career on the scorecards. And if that 10-8 round didn't happen against Cutelaba, he'd be 7-2. And he hasn't lost a decision since 2012. So every decision in the UFC, he's won.
I like it. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, I don't know.
He's a decision fighter. And right now, you can get him by decision at plus 200. Some places are plus 250. He's a decision fighter. He has a style that wins fights on the scorecards. And I expect Jung to slow down if he has to go grapple heavy early and often, because I think at distance, he's at a little bit of a disadvantage. I think Dustin Jacoby is just going to be a little bit faster. I think he's going to be a little bit cleaner. And I think he gets the job done.
Yeah. And as we've seen lately, those significant strikes definitely look good on the scorecards, baby.
Absolutely. All right, moving on. We got a fight in the featherweight division between Bill Algio and Herbert Burns. Right now, Algio is on minus 195, minus 200, minus 210 favorite. And the comeback on Burns plus 165 to plus 175. Who do you got?
Quick shout out to Forrest Daniels and Matt Polly for chatting it up in the chat bar. Jump in there when you guys want, just heads up. Algio, he's a pretty large dude, and Burns has let me down in the past. While Algio could and probably will fight at range, I'm assuming he pressures Burns and maybe even overwhelms him. Kind of like the Kennedy fight from last week. But I don't really like the minus 200. So I'm going to be taking the plus 180 by decision and ultimately just kind of hope for the best. As long as Burns controls his gas tank, he has a shot. But no pun intended, don't hold your breath. So I'm taking Bill Algio. That's my pick. I'm also taking him by decision at plus 180. Am I confident? No. But Burns has let me down so much in the past that I really just think that this is going to be the same song and dance for Mr. Herbert Burns.
Well, I'm against you on this one too. I'm taking Herbert Burns, and I'm waiting it out to see how far this Algio line will keep going. I think Burns is a lot better in one area than Algio is in his area. Algio is a good striker, but he's not like a great striker. He's hands down, throws volume, just has good cardio, and is super durable and super tough. I don't think his striking is, very clean, very crisp, very technical. I just think he's a little bit better than Burns, but it's not overwhelmingly better than Burns. Like Burns' grappling is overwhelmingly better than Algio. Algio has been subbed in the past against, I think, wasn't it Shane Burgos or someone along the lines of that? Someone who's not really a submission artist, somebody who, who's a striker by trade, and choked him out. And then Algio's takedown defense is putrid. Putrid is like an understatement of how bad this man's been taken down 2, 8, 12 times, 17 times, 20 times in his last 5 fights. This man's been taken out 20 times.
It was Shane Burgos, just for the heads up.
Shane Burgos. See, I remember things. I do my research a little bit. But yeah, man. I mean, even Spike Carlaw took him down 4 times. Joe Anderson Brito took him down twice. Ricardo Ramos, who's not really this overwhelmingly D1 All-American wrestler, took him down 8 times. 8 times.
Great fight, though.
Yeah, it was a great fight. But if this gets down 1 time, Herbert Burns can definitely finish it. And I do think Burns gets it down at some point. He's going to get this fight to the mat. And I think he, sinks in a rear naked choke and gets it done. And also, Bill Algio gives up his back like it's nobody's business. He gives up his back against Burns. He's going to get tapped. So I expect that to happen here. I'm waiting it out, and I'm hoping I could get like the plus 200 range, because right now Burns by sub is plus 350. I think that's beautiful there. I would definitely take that. If not, I would wait it out. Wait until we get a plus 200, plus 180, and make the play there. I'm gonna wait it out, just like I did with Jacoby. I hit it at plus 115. I'm gonna hit Burns when it gets closer to plus 200, so I get that little sweet spot.
I like it.
All right, moving on. Next fight up is it was definitely my favorite fight on the entire fight card in the bantamweight division between Ricky Simone and Jack Shore. What a banger. This fight should be on the main card. Definitely, and not only is this fight on the prelims, it's not even the featured bout on the prelims, which is absurd. But anyways, right now the odds are Jack Shore minus 155, the comeback on Ricky Simone plus 135. Who do you got?
That's crazy. These odds, man. It wilds me out, really. I'm one of Shore's biggest fans, but at the same time, it's difficult to bet against Ricky in this spot. It's
right.
A huge step up for Shore here. And, Shore hasn't really been finishing people lately. I like Ricky for the dog money, as this fight is going to be pretty close, or at least I would assume it would be. But how does Ricky do it? How does he win? I'm picking Ricky by decision via strength. He's going to win using his strength. Dude is strong, and he's just going to bully Shore to a decision victory.
I agree 100% with that. I am big on Ricky Simone. I bet on Ricky Simone in every single one of his fights. We're talking since LFA days. Like I said, I thought he was going to be fighting for the title in 2 years. Here we are 3 years later. He's almost there, but eventually I truly do believe in his abilities. I do believe he's going to fight for the title one day. He's gotten so much better, especially since that Rob Font fight. He's won 4 in a row. He's now ranked in the top 15. And he's willing to face a guy that's not even ranked just to show everybody that he is the real deal. He's not a prospect anymore, and he's a legit contender. And, he's coming up a great win against Rafael Assunção, knocked him out. I know, it's Rafael Assunção that's on his last legs, and I get it, but still a great win. And he's dominated everybody after that Rob Font fight. And this is the right fight to make. And I do think it's a huge step up for Shore, who had some troubles with Valiev early in that fight. If he didn't knock Valiev down, it would have been a completely different fight. It would have been extremely close. He got taken down numerous times. Obviously we know Ricky Simone is a much better wrestler than Valiev will ever be. And I think Ricky Simone is also a better striker too. I think he's got much more power than Valiev, and he's willing to stand in there, and he's got some really good head movement, and he's just gotten a lot better, especially since he went down to Team Oyama in I believe San Diego, California. He's just gotten a lot better training with those guys there, like Alex Perez and Marlon Chito Vera and Luis Smoka and that whole crew, Fred Camacho, so on and so forth. But
name drop.
Yeah, I'm just name dropping all of them, but I got Ricky Simone here, man. It's a little bit of a bias pick, and I will ride or die Ricky Simone. But there's no way I can't take Ricky at an underdog price. The list of fighters that he's fought and beaten. We're talking about he's the only guy to finish Marav Dvalishvili? The only guy to finish him. Yeah,
the line is confusing. Like it's like, what am I missing here?
It's the hype. He's the 16-0 prospect. He's beating everybody. He's been dominant. And this and that. And I don't know, man. I just don't know. And like I said, Shore's getting a lot of love. He is, he's the better version of Brett Johns.
I like Brett Johns too.
Yeah. But then we saw where Brett Johns hit his plateau, though.
Yeah. Algio, right?
I think it was the Algio fight, right? And
after the Algio fight, he went to Bellator.
Right. Yep. I'm telling you, bro. I feel like I think Shore's gonna finally hit his roadblock. This is his roadblock. He's gonna get the first L on his record. He's gonna have to go back to the drawing board and go right back at it.
I'm excited for this one. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, it's my favorite fight on the entire fight card. And we still have Charles Jourdain versus Shane Burgos, and that's my favorite fight on the card. All right, moving on to our featured bout on the prelims in the middleweight division between Puna Soriano and Dolce Lungiambula. Right now, Soriano minus 225 to come back on Dolce plus 190. Who do you got?
Yeah, this fight and the last fight should be switched in my humble.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I just wanted to mention before we move on, Matt Pauly said the +1 for the power for the mullet.
Yes.
I can't knock Simon.
The thing is, he doesn't have the mullet anymore.
I know, but he still has the strength from the mullet. It's like that old Bible story, like he lost a little bit of luster, but he's slowly but surely growing it back. He had to reinvent himself, Anyway, let's move on. Soriano, okay. The only guy that Dolce has beat is not in the UFC anymore. Soriano has a chin and all. How do you Longabula?
I think it's Lungiambula.
I know the dude. Like I've seen him. Like I know his name.
I see his face. I know what he looks like.
It's just too many damn syllables. All he has is fist and a name with a bunch of syllables. As long as Soriano avoids those big bombs, he should have the decision in the bag. And Soriano is a decision machine. I'm gonna take him. He's my pick and he's my play by decision plus 250. I think that's a pretty good line, honestly. I don't like the minus 250 or 240, 250, whatever. That's a stupid fucking play in my humble opinion. So yeah, just take the decision. That's gonna pay out much more nicely, and then you can buy your wife, a bag of nachos or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I like nachos. I got them at the movies the other day.
Hell yeah! And then you had to poop.
Yep, I shit it right out.
I will say this, don't popcorn with butter will make you poop.
Oh God, it's not worth it. Don't do it. Whatever you do, don't put the butter on it.
It's like Taco Bell on steroids.
Oh God, yeah, I know all about Taco Bell. But moving on, we can talk about Taco Bell another day. But as far as this fight goes, you're right. This line is egregious. Minus 225 on Soriano over Dolce. I would probably line it around minus 180, minus 170. That sounds about right. I mean, on paper, Soriano is better than him in every aspect of MMA. But are you guaranteed to win here? I don't see the line correlation, with the fight. Soriano has been clipped before. He has been taken down. So there are some holes in his game. I don't think Dolce's one to exploit it, but Is there a chance that he can get knocked out? Of course there is. I mean, Dustin's still got power. Is there a chance he can get taken down and laid on top of? Of course there is. There's a chance of it as well. But at the end of the day, I think Soriano wins this fight. I'm passing on betting on it. I just can't fathom, betting on Soriano minus 225. He could win by decision. I kind of like that play, especially at plus 250. I think that's some intense value there. But the thing is, Soriano could also knock him out cold. He's got that power. But we'll see what happens. That decision play is not bad. I would roll with that if you want to pick a side.
Mr. Simon Banks, they also have breakfast at Taco Bell. So yeah.
Oh man, I'm telling you, I have like a whole list of great breakfast concoctions over at Taco Bell. I got them saved on the app and everything.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful thing. That's one of my best and favorite breakfast fast food places.
I just want to mention one other thing. If you have Taco Cabana, near you, which I'm not sure if everyone does, Taco Cabana is I believe it's a Texas-based taco chain, and they have amazing like breakfast burritos. You can order them literally by the box, and they're very cheap, very good, and they're very, very filling. So anytime I have something to do in Houston, we have to pass one. I stop and grab a few, and eat them on the road. They're extremely messy, but they're
extremely messy, but it's worth it.
Yeah, it's worth getting your shirt dirty over.
And we had Forrest Daniels telling us that breaking news: Murphy found a 4-leaf clover yesterday. She tweeted a picture of her with it, but Tate victory in jeopardy.
It's possible.
All right, moving on to our first fight on the main card. We have a fight in the women's flyweight division between Miesha Tate and Lauren Murphy. Right now, Tate is a minus 200 to minus 225 favorite. We come back on Lauren Murphy plus 170. What do you got?
I have a badass Miesha Tate shirt that I got from this company called Johnny Cupcakes. It's she did a collab with one championship and Johnny Cupcakes. So I'm so excited to wear that shirt Saturday.
Let's go, Tate.
Yeah. But it's no secret I'm a fan of Lauren Murphy. She always, Houston-based fighter, and she's won me a lot of money. Not gonna lie, I always bet her via decision. The issue here is that she's fighting Miesha Tate. Tate has had her ups and downs, since coming back to the UFC. But I think this is a setup fight to get Tate back on track. And while I love Murphy and the money that she's made me, I'm just going to have to kind of bet on the side of Tate here. If she sticks to wrestling and control, I think that it's in the bag. That's really all she's going to have to do. I think she has more paths to victory than Murphy does, because all Murphy could really do to potentially win this is fight at range and basically just hope that Tate doesn't take her down. I had to be talked into this one. I'm not going to lie. Garrett kind of like gave me all the ins and outs, via messenger. Tate via decision. I don't know. There's really no other route, that I could see this going, and I'm excited to wear my shirt. So hopefully she doesn't let me down, because I don't like betting against Murphy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand. I mean, I think a lot of people just don't want to bet on Tate at minus 200. Because she hasn't looked like the old Miesha Tate, but I mean, come on, man. She don't need to look like the old Miesha Tate to beat Lauren Murphy. Let's be honest. Lauren Murphy is pushing 39 years old. Will be 39 in 2 weeks.
Be kind.
I'm just being real here. I mean, she's had troubles with grapplers in the past. Every single fight, other than one fight that she's been taken down, she's lost. She's lost almost every single fight that she's been taken out just one time. Tate is relentless with takedowns. And you look at who Tate's lost to: Caitlin Vieira, Ronda Rousey, Raquel Pennington, Amanda Nunes, and also Tate has landed takedowns in every single one of her fights except for 2 fights, and that was against Amanda Nunes and Sarah McMahon, who is an elite wrestler in her own right, who she beat, by the way. we're talking going back to Strikeforce days. She's landed a takedown in every single one of her fight, except for just those 2 fights. So the chance of her getting a takedown is, I would say, about 99.9% chance of her getting this to the mat for sure. And then from there, she's going to keep it there. I mean, Murphy's not a good grappler. She's not good at getting back to her feet. She's not good at defending takedowns. And then I feel like it's all Tate all day. And that's why the UFC gave her this fight. The UFC gave her someone who I think Murphy's ranked 3 or 2 or 3.
Well, she came off the title loss too. So, it immediately propels Tate.
No. I mean, literally, she beats Murphy. She's getting a title shot.
Yeah.
I will guarantee, especially if she looks good, which I'm expecting her to look good, because that's why the UFC is giving her Murphy, who's 39 years old, who can't defend takedowns well, who's much smaller than Tate. The list goes on, and they're setting this up so Tate will take on Valentina at some point. Already, Valentina's talking about taking on Tate. Tate's already talking about taking on Valentina, and I mean, who is of a big name to really give Valentina right now? Nobody. She's beaten everybody. There's nobody worthwhile throwing at her, because no one's going to want to see that fight. She's going to run away with it.
Yeah.
So now we get a big name in Tate dropping down to 125, and she's going to dominate Lauren Murphy, who shouldn't have been fighting for her title at all, ever. I mean, granted, she was 2 of her 5 wins were gifts, because she lost to Joan Wood and she lost to Andrea Lee. So now she's taking on Tate, who should probably maul her. And you look at Tate against Ketlin Vieira, it was 2-2 going into that last round. And then she also outstruck Vieira by the numbers. So I'm not seeing the Murphy love. I feel like it's more Tate hate and fading Tate than it is, Murphy. Hashtag hate Tate. But, that's how I feel, that everybody's kind of taking it like, oh, there's a value on Murphy because Misha hasn't looked the best. But even Misha at her worst beats Murphy at her best. Let's be honest.
Well, that's why I took Vieira in the last fight. I mean,
me too.
They're a little late on the hate Tate train, because that was a couple fights. I
mean, Vieira was like a gimme to me, and then Vieira was also a gimme against Holly Holm as well, and we got her at plus 200 plus 250 or something crazy like that.
Stupid, yeah. And Forrest, you watch your mouth. Murphy's Houston treasure.
And then Murphy's the dollar store version of Cupcake. I think so.
Yeah, so something like that. I mean, obviously the wrestling isn't there, but I don't know. We'll see on Saturday.
We'll see. All right, moving on in the men's featherweight division between Shane Burgos and Charles Jourdain. Right now, Burgos minus 165. The comeback on Jourdain plus 140. Who do you got?
I'm honestly surprised that the line hasn't moved at all, because I think the last time I checked was on Monday. This is a pick'em fight for me. And while Jourdain is plus money, I think Burgos is the right side here. Both guys have had their ups and downs, but ultimately I think Burgos is the tougher of the two. He's faced bigger competition, and even when he does lose, he still shows up. I like the line, even though he's not, even though it isn't a pick'em fight. I like Burgos at minus 165, and I'll be taking that. Pick and play is Shane Burgos. Hopefully it comes into fruition.
I agree. I think Burgos, obviously much better strength of schedule. Charles Jourdain, I believe he's beaten 2 bantamweights. Someone who's not in the UFC anymore. Yeah. And he had a draw against Colabao. He's lost bad against bad competition. And here we are against Burgos, who's arguably a massive step up in competition from Lando Venata in his last fight, and Andre Ewell. Those are his last 2 wins. Granted, he looked good, in his last fight against Venata.
He should though.
Yeah. Right. That's true. He should look good in that fight against Venata. He cracked him a bit, and then he jumped on his neck and got the guillotine. Burgos. He lost a fight that was very close against Edson Barbosa.
That was crazy.
I mean, he lost a close fight, but the only thing, the drawback is this dude gets hit a ton. He'll go through fire to land something, and I don't like that. I want to do to move his freaking head because this dude's been knocked down numerous times. He's been clipped numerous times. Even against Billy Quarantillo, he got rocked numerous times in that fight too. And I feel like that could happen here. That's why I'm reluctant to pay 165 on him. And I'm just kind of waiting it out to the very last moment to make a play on Burgos, because I feel like we could possibly get him minus 145, minus 150, because, Charles Jourdain money is steadily coming in all throughout the week. And I feel like if we keep waiting towards a fight time, we might get the minus 150 line. And I feel like that's a sweet spot for me.
I could see that happening after like the weigh-ins or the face-offs.
I mean, I feel like it's going to happen before that. I feel because Burgos is the bigger fighter by like 3 inches. Or 2 inches, and he's also got 6 inches of reach. I think the jab, Burgos is probably going to bust up the nose of Jourdain instantaneously. I feel like he's going to probably break his nose. I feel like that jab is really going to dictate the pace of the fight for Burgos as well. But I just want more money to come in on Jourdain so that I can make my last play on Burgos at the best line possible.
I like it.
All right, moving on. We got a fight in the flyweight division between Sue Modargi and Matt Schnell. Right now, Sue Modargi is minus 160 to come back on Schnell is plus 220. Who do you got?
Big fan of Matt Schnell. And while I usually pick him to win decision, I do think Sue gets it done. It's funny because I know that I think you're going to side with Schnell here, which is normally not the case. Usually that's me. But
I never side with Schnell. I'm always against Schnell.
Always. Schnell's looked better lately.
Yes.
But
his fight IQ,
that's it. For every step forward, he takes 2 steps back. And sadly, I think Sue gets the KO victory here. It continues on his lackluster streak. Yeah, he hasn't really beat anybody of note. And the line, I think it should be closer. I'm probably not going to play this because I think the last time I checked, it was Schnell plus 220.
Damn. And then like Sumodarji by knockout is only like minus 110, plus 100, plus 115 at the most. That's crazy.
Yep. So why would you play it? Because it's definitely not guaranteed, especially with Schnell, usually taking it all the way, because the dude is tough. Like he can take a punch, but he does get subbed. But Sue does not sub. He usually KOs people.
But he gets subbed.
Yeah. So that's I'll pass the mic over to my man.
Yeah. Definitely don't think anybody should be playing Sue Modarji at minus 260, minus 275, all the way up to minus 295. I think that's absurd. This is a guy that hasn't fought in almost 2 years, I believe, over a year. Coming off surgery for his knee. So this is his first fight back after knee surgery. And they got a guy that's been subbed in all 4 of his losses. And Matt Schnell, I would say majority of his wins inside the distance have come by sub as well.
That's true.
So I'm taking a shot here. If I'm playing anything on this fight, it's Matt Schnell by submission at plus 800. Why the hell would I not play that? Whether it wins or whether it loses, $5 wins you $40. $10 wins you $80. Put your McDonald's money, your dollar menu money up on this fight, on this man by submission at plus 800, because why the hell not? It's gambling, and this is pure gambling here. But the odds are there. Plus 800. This man's been subbed in all 4 of his losses. Schnell's got numerous submissions, in his time as a professional mixed martial artist. It could happen. If this somehow slips to the mat, he can get his back and he can submit him. And at plus 800, why the hell not? Just a little bit of money wins you a lot of bit of money.
Yeah, and also too, I do know for a fact that Schnell has been He's the first one at the gym. He's the last one to leave.
He's been training grappling from what I've been seeing. A lot of wrestling.
Yep. BJJ. The guy,
and then also Modargi looked terrible against Adashev, who's a midget.
Yeah, I mean I actually like that play more than I like Sue by TKO, and that like you said, that's only plus 115. I prefer that. I prefer the Schnell sub over the.
Yeah, I mean, like
Sue.
it's a gamble in its own right. Yes, is it likely to happen? Probably not. But if Modargi loses, I feel like that's the way he's going to lose.
Yeah, especially given his track record.
Exactly. I mean, all 4 losses by getting taken down against does Schnell have the best offensive wrestling? No, but can he land takedowns? Yes. Can he get it to the mat? Yes. And can he submit him? Absolutely, he can.
Well, hopefully the fact that Tony Kelly is no longer in the UFC will light a fire in Matt Schnell's ass, because he's the only guy from Cage left. So hopefully we get that sub.
I know. What I forgot what happened to the other dude. There was 3 of them.
Well, obviously he didn't make it to the UFC.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's probably a car salesman somewhere.
Yeah. Like a football coach in Louisiana.
Probably. All right, moving on. We got a fight in the welterweight division between Muslim Salikov and Li Jingliang. Right now, Li plus 140 comeback. Salikov minus 165. Who do you got?
Forrest Daniels. Those are Freddy Krueger lights. I got them at that Halloween store, Spirit Halloween. And yeah, Schnell was on MTV. He was on MTV's Cage. That's
how I've known him for like the longest time. That's why I became a fan of his.
Matt Pauly looks like Tony Kelly a little bit.
Oh my God, he does. Let's put his name back up there.
He's like a more attractive Tony Kelly. So props to you, my man. Anyway, let's see. Salikov coming off 3 decision wins, but not exactly strong competition. Jingliang coming off the Cosmot loss. And I think that maybe that explains the weird line here. Lee can always win, and Salikov, I'm going to call him Muslim because that's his name.
Muslim.
It rolls right off the tongue, Tony Kelly style. Typically wins by KO. But here's the thing. He's not Cosmot. So I'm willing to take the stab on the leech because he's tough. Yeah, I'm gonna take that plus money. Li Jingliang. I'm picking them and I'm playing them at plus 150. I actually think that that's a pretty safe bet, honestly.
Absolutely.
I don't think, like I said, Sokolov, he doesn't. I suck at this. He doesn't. His competition really isn't all that great. I think
it really hasn't. And who was his best wrestler that he's faced in his time? Alex Garcia, and what happened? Subbed his ass.
Yeah, Alex Garcia. I think Lee's a huge step up, man. I think that this line is crazy. Get it while you can, because I think this is going to be a pick 'em come fight time.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, what we're talking about? We're talking about the King of Kung Fu, who's 38 years old.
Yeah,
38 years old, hasn't fought in over a year, mind you, 13 months, because I think he had like multiple stints of COVID. It is what it is. Li Jingliang, yes, he lost to Hamzat. He's lost to Neil Magny, 2 of the best in the world.
Yeah, those you can brag about. Like the fact that he even stepped in the octagon with them is like something you can brag about at the library.
And then, he beats a lot Dos Santos, who arguably beat Salikov, and he knocked him out conscious. He beat the dog shit out of him. He dragged his ass for 3 rounds, knocked him down 3 times. Jingliang he's got some power, and he has not lost to a striker yet in his UFC time. His last 3 losses were to Neil Magny, wrestler, Hamzat, wrestler, Jake Matthews. Yes, he got dropped twice. Also a wrestler. And then before that, Keita Nakamura, who he was dominating, who was also a wrestler.
And the Magny fight, he didn't look bad. Like he held his own. Obviously he lost, but it was a lot closer than those cards indicate.
I agree. He also was able to take down Magny twice. And that's another thing. After this Hamzat fight, he went down to Stanford, and he's been training in Stanford for the last 4 to 5 months. training on wrestling. He's also been talking about how he wants to, he wants to showcase his grappling and his wrestling in his fight. What a perfect opportunity to do it against a guy that normally kicks. He's going to be able to catch some of these kicks, stay in range, come forward, land some heavy shots, mix in the takedowns, and just grind on this old man. I mean, come on, man. He's 38 years old. He's not getting any better. He hasn't fought in 13 months. It's never good for a guy that's aging, pushing 40, that's taking a lot of time off, and he has to use a ton of spinning techniques to beat his opponents.
And he just looks old.
Yeah, he does. He looks like he's about 52 years old.
Yeah, he looks like he just wants a sandwich and a good book.
Yeah, and then you look at Lee. He's only 30. I mean, granted, he's 34, but he doesn't look like he's 34.
Yeah, he's tough, and his nickname's the Leech.
Right, the Leech. And I feel like we got him earlier in the week at plus 150. I think it was about like on Monday or Sunday.
Monday.
And I just think he's got more ways to win. And like I said, he's not lost to a striker yet in his UFC time. Could it be his first? Sure. I think this is a massive step down from Hamzat, Santiago Ponzinibbio, Neil Magny, and even Dos Santos, because Dos Santos beat his ass. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I think the Magny fight is kind of all I needed to see to be able to be confident in this pick here.
Yeah, I mean, this entire fight card, there's tons and tons of live dogs here.
Yeah, I'm more of a cat guy myself.
Yeah, Saturday night or Saturday day, I'm more of a dog person. So
fair enough. It's like that guy that used to be on the show with you, the guy that smelled like dogs.
You mean the one that loved cats so much? Colin Kendall, my boy Colin. Come on, man, he loves his cats. I'm okay with that.
Colin's cool. No, Colin's cool. Anyway, moving on.
I know who you're talking about.
Here's a shovel, Jesse.
Moving on. Our fight in the co-main event is between Amanda Lamosh and Michelle Waterson in the strawweight division. Right now, Lamosh minus 320 to come back on Waterson plus 265. Who do you got?
Dude, why is this the co-main event?
I have no fucking idea, because I'm assuming because they want Lamosh to be some new contender because she just lost to Andrade. They're like, here you go. Here's a co-main event spot against somebody who's won one fight that she lost in her last 5. Please win, so we have a new contender.
Yeah, and Waterson is kind of a name, I guess you could say. Right. She got that new Karen haircut, so she has that going for her. Really showing her age these days. Minus 315s. What'd you say? Is it 315? What's it on Lemos?
It's 320, 350, 340, 360. Yeah. It's even at minus 390 on FanDuel.
Holy shit. That's insane. And knowing women's MMA, I'm not gonna bet that. That's insanely steep. Yeah,
absolutely. I completely agree with you.
But I do like her. I like her to win here. Waterson hasn't fought in a while. I don't know what the hell she's doing. Definitely getting haircuts, like I said. But I don't think that she's a KO threat. It's not going to happen. Don't get me wrong. Waterson could find a sub, but she's definitely not as strong as Andrade. And I just don't see Waterson being able to get Lemos down. There's really no path to victory for Waterson here.
No.
I like Lemos by decision. And, at the beginning of the week, it was minus 110. But ultimately, I just don't want to play it because she could kill her. It just, I don't know. Take a break, pull your cock and balls out. Enjoy this one like the man that you are.
Yeah, definitely passing on this fight. I'm definitely passing on this fight. Whip that out and pass on this fight while you're at it.
Oh yeah,
because I want absolutely nothing to do with it in terms of betting wise. The line is ridiculous. Do I think Lamosh wins? Do I think she's the right side? Absolutely. I feel like this is a gimme fight against a big name like Waterson. And Waterson should be 0-4 in the last 4 fights. She definitely lost to Angela Hill that she was gifted the decision. Most likely
lost so much money on that fight, man.
I know that was like the biggest BS because Hill definitely won that fight. But then again, everybody beats Hill by split decision for some reason. And then Lemo, she's super powerful. I mean, she's hard to take down, and I don't know what Waterson's gonna do. Just dance around and try to outstrike her at distance for for 15 minutes. Don't see it. Angel Hill got knocked down. I expect Waterson to get knocked down as well. What is this woman to win by knockout? Lamosh to win by knockout plus 225, plus 260. I
That's not bad.
That's pretty damn good. I would bet on that, to be honest with you.
Especially considering how long Waterson's been out. Like, I just hope she doesn't win because I hate to watch her
she's
cry
not gonna win.
and talk.
She's not going to win. And Manuel Lamosh was landing on Jessica Andrade. And I feel like Lamosh probably would have knocked out Andrade if not gotten to that standing arm triangle, which was kind of crazy that she was able to get. But you're talking about Lamosh, who's knocked down each of her last 4 opponents prior to Andrade. Knocked down Hill, knocked down Montserrat, knocked down Souza, knocked down Muzaki. And subbed Granger. So,
yeah, I don't know. I don't even want to watch this fight, to be honest with you.
Yeah, neither do I. But I mean, that KO prop is pretty juicy.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't. Oh, I know.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I don't like it.
No, I like the KO prop. I just don't like the fight. I'm
probably not going to play anything on this fight, to be honest with you. But
I wonder if how far away Waterson is from retiring. I've called a few good retiring.
Bro, I said this in a group. Waterson's gonna retire. If she gets beaten brutally, if she gets knocked out, I guarantee she's gonna retire.
So she's gonna find a way to get on the mic regardless. I fucking hate it. Yeah, that's like my least favorite thing about MMA is like when Waterson just cries on the mic. So, because she's like, all attention on me, even though I got my ass whooped. Like, come on, move on. So at least we won't have to see her again, unless she gets like a job on like Karen O'Leary's job or something. Like, get out of here, Waterson.
All right, moving on to our main event in the men's featherweight division between Brian Ortega and Yair Rodriguez. Right now, Ortega minus 165 to come back on Rodriguez plus 140. Who do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go against my boy Cody Durden. While I like Yair, I believe Ortega has the tools to get it done here. I think he could win either sub or decision. I like the minus 165. I think it's a blessing, honestly. Is it a lock? Definitely not. I just feel like Ortega has the experience to get it done. Simple as that. Yair barely took care of the Korean Zombie, and I just think Ortega takes him down, finds the sub, 5 rounds. He has 25 minutes to do it. I just think it happens. I don't know. Ortega back on track. What do you think?
Well, I don't think he stands a chance who stands in front of Yair Rodriguez. Let's put it that way. I don't think it's going to be as easy as the Korean Zombie fight in terms of striking because, Rodriguez is very hard to really capture, especially someone that's in the bigger octagon. He throws a lot of, different techniques, uses a lot of his kicks to keep at range. He's bigger, he's longer, he's faster, he's more dynamic. It pretty much boils down to whether or not Ortega's going to attempt takedowns and to able to get it there and keep him there. Well, with Ortega, he has not one sub from top control. There's not a single submission win in his entire UFC career where he had a dominant position, meaning he didn't have back control. He didn't have anything of the sort with like an arm triangle or an arm bar, nothing. You're talking about he had a triangle from his back, and he's gotten guillotine chokes where guys were shooting on him aimlessly like a fucking idiot. Like Moicano, I will remember that fight to my dying breath. Is Hanato Moicano, betting on Hanato Moicano. He's dominating this man, absolutely dominating him on the feet, goes for an ill-advised takedown, and gets submitted. I was at the bar watching this shit, screaming bloody murder, like, why? Why did you do that? And I'm just crying a little bit because I lost a lot of money. But anyways, in terms of this fight, it really boils down to whether or not Ortega's going to go in, get the takedown, and keep it there. Well, Ortega, it took him 3 rounds to get a takedown again, or attempt a takedown against Volkanovski. And then he gets one more in round 4, and that's it. Granted, that's Volkanovski, and we know that Yair Rodriguez doesn't have the best takedown defense. But it comes down to whether or not Ortega is really going to go for the takedowns early. Because if he doesn't go for the takedowns early, Yair could put him away early. And we know that at any given point, Yair can put your lights out. And I feel like at any given point, this fight is on the feet, Yair wins. So it boils down to Ortega getting it down and getting his first submission win from a dominant position in his time in the UFC. He's fought guys that aren't on the level of Yair in terms of skill, in terms of striking abilities. And he hasn't even, he was never in a dominant position against them and got a submission win. But somehow everybody's thinking he's just going to take him down and submit him in a dominant position. I just don't see it. I'm taking a shot on Yair Rodriguez. I'm waiting a little bit because it looks like, right now it's kind of been steady, but I don't see money coming in on Yair, so I'm kind of waiting it out to get the best possible number on Yair. Right now, the best possible number is on Bet Online at plus 155. I really like a better number there, but Yair to win by decision like our man Cody Durden, for him to win by decision was plus 300, which is not bad. Plus 220, plus 330, plus 340, even plus 350 at one place. That's not bad there, but Rodriguez to win by knockout, he's even plus 400. That could definitely happen.
Yeah. Your whole explanation there took a weird turn because you said, I was like, okay, you're about to go with Ortega to win via dominant position. And then you're like, no, I'm going with Yair Rodriguez. That's what I thought I heard. But
no, because Ortega has not, when it comes to his grappling, he's not been dominant with his grappling. It's all been defensive lapses on his opponents. They're going for ill-advised takedowns, and they're getting caught in submissions, or they're going for a takedown and they're sitting in his guard and he's catching him in a triangle. He's never been the one that's initiating the grappling, getting a dominant position and getting a dominant submission win, from top control, whether it's an arm triangle, or it's a rear naked choke, where it's an arm bar, or something of the sort where he's dominating on the mat. It's all been about him being defensive and just catching somebody in something. So I don't see Yair being the first one where he's going to go in and just dominating the grappling and then submit him on top.
Yeah. I gathered what you were saying after the fact. I just thought it totally took like a weird turn for me because I was like, okay, cool, we're on the same page, and then no, we're not.
Completely off here.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like with it being a bigger octagon, I feel like Ortega's going to be able to kind of avoid the onslaught of or the barrage of kicks and punches a little bit better, and then perhaps get a takedown or maybe scramble. I don't see Yair being able to get out of what Ortega put Volkanovski in, the position that he put him in. I don't think many people can get out of.
But that's also the first and only person that he's put in that position.
Well, Saturday
he didn't do it against Chan Sung Jung. He didn't do it against Max Holloway. He didn't do it against literally anybody before that in terms of grappling to that position.
Yeah.
Whereas, against Hanato Morikano, yes, he finished him by guillotine, but it was on an ill-advised takedown attempt by Morikano that got him in that position. It wasn't Ortega initiating the grappling, getting mounts, and then eventually sinking in that choke.
Yeah, and Yair is not going to go for that. Why would he do that?
Exactly.
That's a good point. I don't know. 25 minutes.
No, anything.
It's interesting.
Anything can happen. I feel like Ortega definitely has more ways to win. He's gotten better in his stand up, and he's elite on the ground.
Yeah,
but I feel like
checkers.
it stays on the feet. He's got no chance of beating Yair.
Yeah, but what's the reach comparison with Yair and?
I think it's about a 2-inch reach advantage and 3-inch height advantage or something like that.
What about him and Holloway?
Ah, that's a good question. Let me see. Ortega, Holloway.
No, I mean Yair and Holloway.
Oh, Yair and Holloway.
I mean, again, I don't want to sit here and do like MMA math just because.
Yair had a 2-inch reach advantage as well over Holloway.
Damn. Okay, that's crazy. Interesting.
Yeah. Holloway doesn't have. He's got like T-Rex arms. He's only got a 69-inch reach.
I guess because maybe his torso is like smaller or like shorter, it makes his arms look longer, which is interesting. Like that's an interesting build. Must be like an Hawaiian thing or something. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to roll with Ortega. I think ultimately, if Yair, he'll probably get lost in Ortega's eyes, like I did, and ultimately find that submission one way or another. Probably
he submitted you with his eyes.
Oh, he did more than that. I'm gonna have to agree with honestly Forrest Daniels here. Third round submission. I think that's very, very probable. But we're gonna all be winners because this fight is gonna be good. It's gonna be leaps and bounds beyond what Israel Adesanya can provide, and it's gonna keep me frozen like Elsa, all night and all day.
All right, guys, that's what we got for you guys for this week's KO breakdown here on the Props Network, presented to you by Playmaker. You guys got to go to prizepicks.com and sign up there. We got a promo code, 100% deposit up to $100 using promo code Props Live. And guys, please screenshot that, send us a DM, and get some free swag sent to your house. Why the hell not? Some Playmaker swag, some Props HQ swag, just for signing up with our promo code. And guys, Prize Picks is easy. We're talking over/under on takedowns, over/under on significant strikes, over/under on fight time. Easy stuff. $10, you hit 5 in a row. That's 10 times your money. That's $100. It's easy. It's a little bit of money to win a lot of money. Go in there and make some money, and cash out. That's what we're here for, to put money into your pockets and cash out this weekend. But before we go, my man Jesse Hobson, Joe Danger, where can everybody find you?
You can find me online. You can find me. I don't know, wherever.
In the backyard, at the grocery store. You can find me somewhere.
Hanging out with Cody Durden, Anyway, shout out to Cody for hanging out with us, putting up with me ultimately. And, Forrest Daniels for making that happen, making the connection happen. I'm looking forward to that Flick and Durden 2.0 fight,
Absolutely, man.
Holy shit.
I feel like that's going to be a completely different fight. I think there's going to be I feel like there's going to be a lot of animosity between the two. I don't think Flick likes Durden too much either because he jogged back and forth. I feel like that is a fight to make again.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. Maybe UFC should hire us, to bring these guys together. It is what it is. But yeah, you can find me online at codydurden.com and then anywhere else, where Cody Durdens are sold. Cody, the Durden, you heard it here first, boys and girls. Adios.
All right, guys. Remember, go to Props HQ on YouTube and everywhere on social media. Give them a like and follow. Same with Playmaker. Go on all social platforms and in their YouTube channel. And we will see you guys next week. We are out of here. Adios.